Today on the Bluffton News, we'll get some insight into estate planning and we'll get a fresh perspective on the Don Ryan Center for Innovation. Welcome to the Bluffton News. I'm Annalisa Itkor, and these are Bluffton's current headlines. A body found in Bluffton Park on Sunday morning was identified as 42-year-old William Grooms, who was charged last month with stealing money from the Friends of Bluffton Dog Park. Grooms' death is being treated as unnatural. His body was taken to MUSC in Charleston for an autopsy. Grooms was charged June 11th with allegedly stealing more than $10,000 from the nonprofit organization he was president of until his embezzlement was discovered. 2 days after his arrest, Grooms reported to Bluffton police that he had been stabbed on the front porch of his 9th Avenue home. He was treated for a non-life-threatening injury. No suspects were ever identified and no witnesses could corroborate his description of his alleged attacker. Registration for Beaufort County Parks and Leisure Services youth sports is being extended to the middle of July to ensure the maximum amount of Beaufort County children are able to take part in the fall sports being offered. The sports being offered by PALS this fall include flag football ages 4 through 7, tackle football ages 7 through 14, cheerleading ages 6 through 14, fall baseball, that's in Beaufort only, ages 9 through 14, and soccer ages 4 through 17. To register online, go to www.bcgov.net/PALS. The 2013 World Series for the Dixie Youth Traditional Ponytails will be played at Oscar J. Frazier Park in Bluffton at the end of this month. Opening ceremonies will begin July 26th with the first pitch being thrown July 27th. The tournament is expected to last through July 31st if the weather cooperates. The county channel will broadcast all of the games on television and stream the games online, allowing viewers to watch the players all across the world. More than 200 volunteers plus the Beaufort PALS and ground staff will be needed in order for this event to run smoothly. If interested in volunteering, contact Shannon Loper at 843-255-6684. For the last several weeks, motorists driving along Highway 170 under Highway 278 have noticed crews erecting a new traffic signal. The traffic signal is now flashing yellow along Highway 170 in both directions. For motorists coming off of Highway 278 westbound, they'll see a flashing red light. The Department of Transportation requires all new signals flash for a minimum length of time before going into normal red, green, yellow operation for safety and notification. A traffic study showed a traffic signal was warranted for the safety of the motorists exiting Highway 278 westbound and turning onto Highway 170, as well as the motorists wanting to turn onto Highway 278 westbound off of Highway 170. The light is expected to be fully operational as of Monday, July 15th. The South Carolina Education Lottery has had a successful year for education in the Palmetto State. With the support of its retailers and players, this is the best year for transfers to education in 7 years. Deposits to the Education Lottery account for fiscal year 2012-13 amounted to $300 million, the best since fiscal year 2006. This funding helps provide scholarships and grants, buses for grade school students, books and technology at local libraries, and other educational opportunities for South Carolinians. With fiscal year 2012-13 in the books, the South Carolina Education Lottery is already looking to the future. As the lottery begins its 12th year, new tickets, games, and promotions are being planned to ensure continued funding for education. The partnership of customers, retailers, and employees make the South Carolina Education Lottery a winning team. Hunter Stewart arrived at the Berkeley Hall clubhouse in the middle of a downpour Sunday morning. Stewart held a one-shot lead entering the final day of the Players Amateur, and he wasn't sure if the weather would allow players to finish their rounds. It didn't, as the tournament was called because of heavy rain with the last group on hole number 5. The players' 54-hole scores were declared final, making Stewart the 14th Players Amateur champion with an at 14 under par 202. The Vanderbilt junior made par on his first 4 holes Sunday and led California's Michael Weaver by 2 shots when play ended at about 12:30 p.m. Stewart, 20, earned an exemption into next year's RBC Heritage at Harbortown Golf Links on Hilton Head Island. There's help for senior citizens who are facing a new challenge to paying rent. Residents may apply for the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, which is administered through the South Carolina Lieutenant Governor's Office on Aging. The program does not offer long-term housing assistance, but instead helps seniors get through a hardship by providing supplementary rent money directly to the property owner or landlord. For additional information on the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, contact Pamela Grant in the Lieutenant Governor's Office on Aging at 803-734-9893. And here's what's happening around the state. Miss Mount Pleasant Brooke Mosteller is the new Miss South Carolina for 2013. Mosteller won the crown Saturday night at the pageant in Columbia. The 23-year-old from Mount Pleasant is a Furman University graduate and is attending the University of South Carolina's Law School. Mosteller sang Being Alive from the 1970s musical comedy for her talent. She was a preliminary swimsuit winner. For more information on these headlines and more, please check the media sources you see listed on your screen. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Coming up, BJ Frazier of the Bluffton Sun brings us the buzz in Bluffton with hot off the presses, and we've got an exciting Bluffton business report courtesy of Shelley West Hodges.
Welcome to Brown Golf, where playing here has its rewards. Purchase a 20-round package of golf prior to May 1st, 2013 and receive a full day with yours truly. That's 18 holes of golf, 2-hour mini school, and lunch. To purchase that package, go to browngolfmanagement.com. That's browngolfmanagement.com. Now, let's go humble the golf course.
Thank you for joining us here on the Bluffton News. I have BJ Frazier from the Bluffton Sun, who always brings us the most insightful information about Bluffton. Now today, BJ, we're kicking off with the Bluffton branding thing that's in process. What's going on with that?
Well, as you know, we've been talking about this for a while, and they're just wrapping up the first set of meetings with residents and politicians and all sorts of people looking for all the input on what they feel the future branding of Bluffton should be. As you know, we've got Old Town Bluffton, we've got the Bluffton Parkway, and we've got Highway 278, Tanger Outlets, Sandbar. There's a million different factors that make up this wonderful state of mind town. And what they're trying to do is focus it in on a branding message that we can go forward in the future and market Bluffton to not only tourists, but to businesses as well. So it's critically important that as you see this information coming out, pay attention, look for it in the issue this week of the Bluffton Sun, and just stay on top of it.
Absolutely, because Bluffton is growing in leaps and bounds, literally, and we want to make sure that it grows in the right direction, and our viewers can absolutely help with that. So we were talking about in the headlines that we have a new Miss South Carolina in our midst, but I understand that there is a possible another beauty queen from the Bluffton area.
Absolutely. 68-year-old Beverly Thiel is going to be competing in the Miss South Carolina Senior Pageant in Myrtle Beach this fall. And it's interesting that 50 years ago, in 1962, Beverly competed in the Miss America pageant and won the talent portion for her piano and organ playing. And you know, I think that's really going to help her come the fall, because you know, not only is she a very talented woman, but she's very bright and good looking, I might say. And so we're all going to be rooting for 68-year-old Beverly Thiel from Sun City.
Wow, well, we wish her lots of luck. I'm sure she'll represent Sun City very well. Now, kids in Bluffton, we got some hungry ones. What does Bluffton have in store for them? Well,
the success of the Backpack Buddies program, which feeds kids during the school year on weekends and so forth, disadvantaged kids that don't have any nourishing breakfasts year round. And what the founders, Ken and Sue Krupa, have done is to come up with a summer program, a summer nutrition program that feeds kids lunches throughout the season. And you know, that's just wonderful news, because you know, as we know, it's not fun to be hungry, and these kids find a way to fill up on these nutritious breakfasts and so forth. And if you want to find out more about it, look for this week's Bluffton Sun that has some complete details how you can donate to it. And we have 27,000 copies of the Bluffton Sun out there, so read on.
All right. Well, we always find great information. Thanks so much, BJ. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Annalisa.
Downtown Bluffton has a lot to offer, and we have the promenade located directly behind me across from Calhoun, and there are lots of opportunities here, lots of places to eat, have a good time. There's a yoga place in here. We have Corner Perk moving in. We've got a new pizza place, new bridal shop, just loads and loads of things going on here in the promenade, and we're going around and talking to some of the owners here. Very new bridal boutique here in the promenade, Chica's Bridal and Boutique, and here with me is new owner Sabra Stutz.
We have formal wear, everything that you would need for your wedding or prom or other formal occasion, but we also have a boutique section that's just casual wear as well. We came to the Bluffton area because we knew that there was nothing around here for y'all, so we wanted to bring some formal wear.
This is a family business. Tell us a little bit about your background.
My grandmother has owned a bridal and boutique for over 50 years. Her mother actually started it. My mother has owned a bridal and boutique since 2008, and now it's my turn.
Ted Huffman, who is our town councilman. Ted, you wear lots of hats, and you're here in the promenade. You've got multiple businesses. Tell us how business is here in the promenade.
We've been here about 4 years, Bluffton Barbecue, hopefully you've been here. If you haven't, Wednesday through Saturday, weekly. Promenade is a hub. We've been working hard to establish new business in downtown Bluffton.
Now, you have a couple of other businesses. I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about those as well.
My wife, Donna, does the Bluffton Breeze magazine. She's been doing that for almost 11 years now. And that's been a local mainstay for a long time. And we just took over the Cripple Crab in Hardyville. And thank you for asking. Anything you can help us out with out there, we'd appreciate it.
I love the Cripple Crab. I know some folks probably haven't heard of that yet, but we love Bluffton Barbecue and love the Bluffton Breeze. Donna does a great job with that. And we look forward to more businesses. We hear there's a lot of other businesses opening up here in the promenade.
Bill has had a vision of Restaurant Row in here for a long time. Proud to be an anchor of all of this, and we love it.
Representative Bill Herb Kirschman, and we are at his new pizza place. Now, Bill, you are wearing a lot of hats. First and foremost, you're a Blufftonian, and also people should know that you are also a businessman here in town. And tell us about your new venture here down in the promenade.
Well, thanks, Shelley. In the promenade, we everything has been so successful as far as Captain Woody's and Cork's Barbecue, Bluffton Barbecue. We thought it was time to have another restaurant in here, a pizza place. And Bluffton's well known for its quirkiness, but it's also known for its pizza places. The reception has been great. We've got a lot of folks around here who can remember the 60s and 70s, and Moonme was just a good name. We figured out a good logo for it, and we just thought it'd add to the kind of the quirkiness of Bluffton.
You've got some good young folks here working for you, I understand.
Yeah, high energy. We've got some really good folks in here. We've got some great experience in here. We've got some folks that are trained on the pizza line in Charleston and in Colorado, and have just brought a new element to it. As a matter of fact, we've had some folks say this is the best pizza this side of New York. I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's a great time down at the promenade. Please check it out and come on downtown. And this is Shelley West Hodges with the Greater Bluffton Chamber, and it's back to you.
Thanks so much, Shelley. Sounds like the promenade is definitely the place to be this summer. When we return, we are going to be learning all about estate planning. Some terrific questions are going to be asked, and we're also going to find out some new information about the Don Ryan Center for Innovation.
Have you noticed all of the people, activity, construction, and new business on Buckwalter Parkway? Buckwalter Place is a 94-acre knowledge-based, mixed-use, new town development in Bluffton, South Carolina, and is the focus and nexus of a significant amount of economic, commercial, governmental, educational, entertainment, social, and cultural activity in southern Beaufort County. If you haven't already, visit Buckwalter Place and experience it for yourself. Buckwalter Place. Live well. Connected.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. I'm delighted to welcome Mark Wynn, attorney at law. And Mark, you're bringing some very important information to the table today. We're going to talk a little bit about estate planning. Why is estate planning so important?
Estate planning is important because without a good estate plan, all of what you've worked hard for throughout your whole life to accumulate in terms of assets are put in jeopardy if you don't do some estate planning in advance. It's very simple. If you don't do it, then you won't get the benefits.
All right. Now what exactly is estate planning?
Estate planning is the process of putting your circumstances and your financial affairs in order so that in the event of your disability or in the event that when you pass, all of your assets and the like will go to the people that you want them to go to in the manner that you want them to go to them, and will avoid unnecessary costs and expenses and taxes.
Okay, now very often in relationship to estate planning, you hear the term trust. What are trusts all about?
Well, trusts are the primary tool that I use as an estate planning attorney, and we use trust, the law of trusts and trust agreements and trust arrangements. So to answer your question, a trust is an arrangement whereby there's a person who serves as the legal owner who has fiduciary responsibilities to manage the property for the benefit of the person or the persons who are the beneficial owners. Now, if you're the trustee, if you're the legal owner and you're the beneficiary at the inception, and you retain the right to change the terms of your trust, then what you have is a revocable living trust. And the benefit of having a revocable living trust is you can provide who will manage the property in the event of your disability or death, and under what directions and instructions they must follow. And the whole thing can be administered in a manner where the court does not need to be involved, and people, the general public, does not need to know what your assets were. So it's critically important if you want to keep your affairs private.
Okay. Now, you're going to give me some free legal advice today. I've got a ton of nieces and nephews, so keeping our assets in our bloodline isn't as clear-cut as if I had my own children. How can I ensure that assets stay within my bloodline?
If you were to structure in your legal papers that upon your passing, your assets were to go into a trust for the benefit of your spouse, for instance, if your spouse were to survive you, and your spouse could have total legal control and beneficial ownership of that property during their life, and then you could direct that on their passing, the property that might remain in that trust is to go down to your children and perhaps left to them in trust as well. One of the big things that we take advantage of in the law is, and it's available in most states, but when you leave assets in trust for the benefit of a loved one, they can be the trustee of their own trust, they can be the beneficiary of their own trust, and if there's a clause in that trust that directs that any right that they have to the income or principal shall not be subject to lawsuits, then the assets that you've left to them will be protected from loss in the event that they get sued or divorced. That's how we keep property in the family.
I got it. That's very, very interesting. Now, how can I ensure if I'm going to be able to benefit as much as possible from government benefit aid? And
that's a great question. You know, one of the things that attorneys have the responsibility of doing, estate planning attorneys, it's incumbent upon us to bring to the attention of our clients that within the body of their various legal instruments, such as, for instance, a general power of attorney, which we almost always recommend our clients having, it avoids guardianship and it avoids conservatorship. One question is the scope of the authority that you give to your agent. So the question is if I'm disabled, do I want my agent to be able to take steps to try to qualify me for government benefits? And if the answer to that is yes, and for many people it is, and we discuss it with all of our clients, we should include powers within the general power of attorney that authorize those steps to be taken.
all right, well, this is all very interesting stuff. It's way more than we can cover in just the small amount of time that we have. You can bill me later, and I'm sure a lot of people will be getting in touch with you for more questions.
Great.
Joining us now is Larry Hughes from the Don Ryan Center for Innovation. Larry, why don't you start off by giving us a little overview of what the Don Ryan Center is all about?
Sure. The main thing we do at the Don Ryan Center for Innovation is we support new technology company formation. Our symbol is actually the Rocket Man. That's a person in a business suit with a jetpack strapped to his back. But what we like to say that symbolizes is if you bring us your dreams and ideas, we'll help support you on the liftoff. And that's really what we do. We try to provide the coordination of support and services like marketing analysis, business strategy, financing strategy, all kinds of business development for companies that, let me put it this way, if you think of an incubator as a nest, and that startup company is an egg, then what we try to do is keep that warm and help it mature to the point where it becomes a fledgling and it's teetering on the edge of the nest, and either it has enough intuition and trust to take off on its own, or we give it a little kick to help it fly and soar. So that's what we do at the Don Ryan Center for Innovation.
It sounds like such a great organization to work for. Now, what is the public-private partnership behind the center?
Well, the town of Bluffton was the initiator, and their main strategic partner is Clemson University. But there are other strategic partners involved, including CareCore National, which gave us the Class A space in which to start the Don Ryan Center for Innovation, and also the development team behind Buckwalter Place, which is the first, and to my knowledge only, knowledge-based development in the region, which is a total live, learn, work, play concept all in one development space.
Wow. Now, how does the Don Ryan Center for Innovation benefit the taxpayers and citizens in this area?
Well, you know, having a Boeing or a BMW is great for the economy of the state of South Carolina. And as a taxpayer and citizen of South Carolina, I'm pleased and proud that they're here. But big companies like that are like cruise ships. They take a while to get underway, and they have a set course. Small and medium-sized businesses are like speedboats. They have to be able to be flexible, turn on a dime, change course depending upon the economic circumstances, depending upon the product or service that they have that they're trying to get to market. And if you think of the knowledge and technology-based information economy, it creates a real quick speed tempo. And the kind of public-private interdependence that we see, for example, in the Don Ryan Center between the town and those public and private partners I think, is the new paradigm for economic development.
Right. Now, what needs to happen to diversify our local economy, Larry?
Well, you have to be able to link the business and intellectual infrastructure into a community-based change. There has to be a willingness to look at what is involved in this information and technology economy. If you look at, for example, the Research Triangle in North Carolina, or closer to home, if you look to Greenville for their model and their research park, which includes the International Center for Automotive Research, which is done in conjunction there with Clemson University, that is now almost $250 million, $250 million capital structure. And they're developing new partnerships all the time that coalesce around that technology, or maybe it goes a different way and other contractors and subcontractors want to come in and be in that business park. So that's what we're looking to do at the Don Ryan Center. We don't expect every business that comes through to be a brilliant idea and to be a home run, but let's not forget that Apple started in a garage.
That's right.
And the next thriving business may come from our incubator, or it may come from somewhere else. But you have to have that infrastructure that supports that kind of growth.
Absolutely. Well, it's so exciting to see that the direction the center is going, and I know that Bluffton is delighted to be along for the ride.
Yes, they are.
When we come back, Kim Viljak will be joining us with the Skinny on all things fun as we hear this week's entertainment report.
How's the air temp at your house? Hotter? Colder? Never fear, Season 7 at Covert Air is now underway. If your home is not in the comfort zone, we can be on the scene today. Clean a little coal, find a little leak. If it's over the hill, replace it. Summer's coming, have no worries. Sit back, relax, and stay cool. Covert Air to the rescue. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. I have Kim Viljak with me now, and we are very excited about the coming weeks in Bluffton. All kinds of fun things happening. What's going on, Kim?
Hey, Annalisa. Of course, it's summertime. So a lot of us in the low country, shrimp is our major staple. So we've got you covered this week. We have the Piggly Wiggly May River Shrimp Festival. This is part 3 of the Bluffton Sunset Party series, and it's down at the Oyster Factory Park. Now, this festival is going to have shrimp boat tours, shrimp heading contest, which is different, live music from Zach Stiltner, who I love, Low Country Boyle, who's also awesome, craft beer garden, food court featuring all kinds of shrimp and local seafood. You cannot go wrong at this. Palmetto Animal League receives all the benefits from this festival, and they're also going to be out there with some dogs for adoption from 5:30 to 7:30. They're a no-kill shelter, awesome organization. Tickets are $5. Kids under 12 get in free. You can come by boat, by golf carts, lawn chairs, bring those, coolers, leave those at home. There's all kinds of food and drinks. It's a party with your pooch event, as long as they're on a leash, so you cannot go wrong. And that is this Friday going on the 19th.
That sounds awesome. Now, give us the time again, from when to when?
It's from 5 until 9 p.m.
All right, perfect. Now, Palmetto Bluff, they've got some stuff going on out there.
That's right, that's right. They have their summer concert series this month featuring Earl Williams, who is adorable and close to my heart, of course. But they are having their concert series under the oaks at the Village Green. Now, Earl has shared the stage with Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Chubby Checker, so he's pretty awesome, and he includes the audience. He gets them in on the experience. It is so much fun. Now, this is on July the 23rd, and the gates open at 5, but the concert doesn't start until 6:30. It's $25 per car. You can put as many people as you can fit in your car, but it's $25 per car. All the proceeds go to Bluffton Self-Help. And what you need to bring is your chair. You can bring a cooler, a handheld cooler, but food and drinks will be available for purchase. Their chef, Chef Brandon, has gourmet popcorn, boiled peanuts, fried chicken, pulled pork, all kinds of stuff. Can't go wrong with either of those events.
That sounds like so much fun. I'll be curious to see if any clown cars turn out. Kim, thanks so much. And we know that we're going to have a lot more to look forward to when we see you next.
Okay, bye-bye.
Kim, thanks so much. Thank you for joining us for the news program that is all Bluffton all the time. I'm Annalisa Itkor. We'll see you next time.